Joe Goldberg, the fictional character in the Netflix series You and the 3 novels that follow the same story, is a character that's extremely cunning, charming, known for his good looks, and is also extremely fearful to be around. Over the course of the 4 seasons of the show, we've seen him delve deeper into the depths of insanity and commit the most heinous of crimes without thinking about it, or even having a motive behind his actions. This has led to the question of if the character was based off of the real-life serial killer Ted Bundy, an individual that exhibited similar behaviors over the course of a few years in the 1970s. Well, I thought I'd take a look at the fictional character Joe Goldberg and the real-life killer Ted Bundy and see just how similar they actually are, and if the character of Joe Goldberg was in fact based off of him. So let's get into it. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers on the TV show. When the author of the novels was first addressed about Joe Goldberg and Ted Bundy, she stated that she didn't choose to base the character off of the evil serial killer. However, there is no denying that there are definitely some similarities that are extremely easy to see, such as how they were both charismatic on the outside and conveyed a charming, approachable, friendly exterior, but buried beneath the individuals, their interior was actually dark, sinister, evil, and haunting, providing an almost Jekyll and Hyde personality, something that was apparent in both of them. Let's start by looking at their appearance. When we look at Joe Goldberg and Ted Bundy, there's no denying that their appearances are quite similar. Ted Bundy was 178 centimeters in height. Penn Badgley as Joe Goldberg is 175 centimeters. And their build, frame, and features are all quite similar. Both dark hair, prominent facial hair that is quite thick, and a relatively slim stature. They both have eyes as well that open quite wide and feel as though they're really looking over at you intensely when they're in your direction. Their face shape is also something that looks as though it's got a similar shape with the prominence of their cheekbones and jawline. So it's quite easy to understand why many people out there believe that the character was originally based off of him. The type of victims and approach. Both the fictional character Joe Goldberg and real-life killer Ted Bundy had a similar approach in the way that they picked out the same type of individuals who would go on to become victims. They would both charm individuals into being led into a false sense of security, and once away from the public, they would then commit their crimes. Joe Goldberg's approach would be to play the long game with a person that piques his interest. He spots somebody that shows a remote piece of interest in him, and if he feels as though the feeling is reciprocated on his side, then he proceeds to get obsessed with them and stalk them, until he worms his way into more of an intimate relationship. It's only then, once he feels as though he can't live without them and doesn't want them to have any happiness without him, he keeps them locked up or he kills them. This is actually different to how Ted Bundy would act. Ted Bundy was more of a compulsive killer. He didn't build relationships with individuals like we saw with the fictional character Joe. He would act quite soon after meeting them. He always had the intention of killing the people that he abducted and kidnapped. There were no emotional feelings involved with Ted Bundy. It was just pure evil embedded within him and personified. He acted because he could, and the other people were in a situation where they couldn't do anything about it. One thing that was different between the pattern of Joe Goldberg and Ted Bundy was that Joe Goldberg actually killed men too, and not just women. Joe Goldberg has killed in the name of love before and for the people that he cared about, which meant that he had to kill men. Something that shows that there is a completely different motive when compared to what Ted Bundy actually did, showing that the reason they committed their heinous crimes are for 2 completely different reasons. So realistically, when looking at the both of them, they are actually extremely different when it comes to the evil nature that they both embody. The geographical location of the both of them. One thing that was similar between the both of them was the fact that they committed their crimes all throughout different states and cities around the US. This was a trait that was present between both the fictional killer and the real-life one. Bundy killed in Washington, Utah, Colorado, Florida, Oregon, Idaho, and California. And Joe Goldberg has killed in New York, Los Angeles, California, the Californian suburbs, and London, England. Most serial killers are said to commit their crimes in the same location, so the fact that Joe Goldberg has gone against the usual pattern that a serial killer has, and has instead gone cross-state and continental, it shows that there could have been some behavioral pattern taken from Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was also said to use an alias one time when he was checking in at a motel. As we know from the Netflix show, Joe Goldberg has often done the same when he went onto a new location. but he's gone even further in changing his identity and being known as a new person for an elongated period of time. So while this is fairly similar, it's not a direct comparison. Overall conclusion. I would say that there are some similarities that are present within Joe Goldberg and Ted Bundy, but I don't think it's enough to say that the fictional character was based off of him directly. Yes, his appearance, mannerisms in the way that he would present himself as calm and friendly on the outside, but actually have a dark side buried within him, and the fact that he killed in more than one location are things that do have a somewhat similarity, but I would argue that it's just by chance. I don't feel as though the creators of the show or the author of the novels would have deliberately created a character that was based off of Ted Bundy, due to the mindset and feelings that we as the audience feel towards Joe Goldberg in the show. We as the audience are programmed to root for Joe at points, and at times we even question why we care about the character so much when he's such an evil individual and does some horrific things. So by basing a character off of a real-life serial killer that has ruined so many lives due to his actions, I feel it would be morally wrong of the show to do that due to the feelings that we end up having about Joe. It would be doing what many people said the Dharma Show was doing on Netflix, glorifying a serial killer, so I don't feel as though the creators of this show did that. I think that the similarities are in fact just by chance. Joe gets away with a lot, things that in real life an individual wouldn't, hence why he always has to escape, create new aliases, and is able to walk free into different states, cities, and countries. But with the pattern of killing, reason behind doing it, and the relationships that he builds, it shows that there is no direct comparison. Ted Bundy, his crimes, and the life that he led is far different to the fictional character and the story that we see unfolding in the show. The only thing that I feel you could say is similar about them is the fact that they have a similar appearance and build, and that they are extreme serial killers who have killed a lot of people. Other than that, I think it's by chance. With Ted Bundy being caught, punished, and getting the chair, it does make me wonder that seeing as though the conversation of him being based off of him is already there, would the ending of the show follow a similar path to what actually happened to Ted Bundy? It feels like Joe Goldberg is most likely going to be arrested, but I guess that's something that we'll see. So my conclusion is they are extremely similar. I don't think it's all been done deliberately, but there are some things that you see present in the real-life serial killer and the fictional character. So, there you have it. The similarities between Joe Goldberg and Ted Bundy. If you want to see more videos such as endings explained, theories and predictions, and character breakdowns, then click on the I button. Or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. Do you think Joe Goldberg is based off of Ted Bundy? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.